Hi, way back in spring 2020, during lockdown, I embarked on a career as a wildlife photographer, an ornithologist even. That's a complete lie. But I became a wildlife photographer, although I did it in a rather passive way, using GoPro cameras. I used a pair, a GoPro 4 and a GoPro 7, and I set them up around the bird baths. We have 2 in our garden, and captured some amazing shots. I was quite pleased with the results. Anyway, this is part 2. It's only taken 3 years to do it, but it's part 2. And I've got around to editing all the footage I took back in 2020. This time though, I used log 1, log 2, which is an improvement with a branch fitted to it. And as you'll see, in this log was a little dugout for sunflower seeds, basically. Much healthier than bread, obviously. And it was quite close to bird baths as well, with both setups actually. So one down the back garden, front part of the back garden. So I've got some interesting footage, although not without a lot of failures. Yep, there's always a lot of failures. But I hope you enjoy the results. So, as the sun goes down on part 1's bird bath captures, I experiment with a homemade bird table, which was okay, but subsequently only attracted tits, a robin and the odd blackbird. However, it was fascinating to observe how the smaller blue tit would mostly wait for the larger great tit to eat at the dinner table first. Well, they are bigger. After a few days of trialling this, I decided a more natural setup was needed. It was time to turn over a new leaf. Finding an old branch in the garden, I rigged it up. Made a small trough along the top for seeds and screwed the log to a stand. Thus, log 1 was born and ready for action. A couple of blackbirds, or maybe the same one, had discovered it, but I decided it needed branches to provide more landing spots for birds to perch on, and to look more visually interesting too. This log was heavier and needed a couple of bricks in the base to stop it from falling over. That worked well. Every other day or so I changed locations, and most often I used a 2-cam setup. Despite my wife scaring the birds away, all was good to go. I knew it wouldn't be long before a wood pigeon showed up, and the cheeky bird was feeding before I'd had time to place a GoPro camera. If I wanted to get closer into the birds, I'd need close-up lenses, as the GoPro has a depth of field of around 30 centimetres or 12 inches from the lens to infinity and beyond. Having a set of 52mm diameter close-up lenses, I mounted them onto the GoPro 7's cage, but this image is 3 years on, and it's my GoPro 10. Okay, I wouldn't recommend stacking them like this, but number 2 and number 4 close-up lenses coupled together produce some really sharp images from approximately 5 to 6 inches away from the subject. Brilliant, and the other benefit is it threw the background slightly out of focus. Seeds topped up, and we're good to go. So, a great tit arrives and is totally freaked out by the camera, probably seeing its reflection in the lens. It wasn't long before a wood pigeon found the log and rapidly began to empty the trough. The GoPro here was strapped to the log. Uh-oh, another pesky wood pigeon homes in and begins to consume all the sunflower seeds somewhat rapidly. Thug. Uh-oh, another pesky wood pigeon. They really have become so numerous over the last few years, and certainly have a voracious appetite. And as you can see, this one has what appears to be a broken strand of feather dangling below. You will see several freeze-framed images throughout, and it's fun slowly skimming through the footage to find them. Sometimes when skimming through the footage, a bug was all I'd captured. This is an annoying bug, but still entertaining. Nice to see a collared dove turn up, the only one. The drumming sounds caused by the camera being mounted on the log, so I soon stopped doing that. The seeds are just a little too large for a blue tit, so when I topped it up next time, I added some smaller crush ones too. I used my phone alarm to remind me to run down the garden and change the battery, a micro SD card, usually 64GB ones. Guess who? Periodically, whilst gardening, I popped down to see if the red light was blinking on the GoPro and if the feed needed topping up. I could of course use the GoPro app to control the camera remotely, however I would still need to be viewing rather than getting on with other chores. The unmistakable sound of an approaching blackbird. And this one soon starts tweeting away. It's listening and answering another distant blackbird. We had one blackbird that had a very distinctive melodic tune. It's not long before the big boys are back. Yeah. Just don't projectile poop right into my lens. Thanks. Oh well, time to branch out, as I've twigged how to make it easier for smaller birds to eat, without those pesky wood pigeons taking everything. With weighted egg cartons filled with sunflower hearts. Will this work, I wonder? It's below you! The seed's below you! Well, the robin hasn't seen it. And is that a woodpecker fly past? Here comes trouble again. Well, I guess it was bound to happen. Oh dear. Back to the drawing board. Maybe. Well, thanks for watching, folks, and I hope you enjoyed the results. There will be more to come, much more wildlife photography to come, amongst many other things on my channel, and in particular using the Fuji cameras that I have with the 70-300 lens in particular. And I've filmed a lot of wildlife, various species in various locations. So I hope you will subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and bash the bell to the side for notifications. And I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks very much. Cheers.